Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Linda. I've got a lot of fun ideas for you today. I'm so glad you're able to join me. What are we waiting for? Let's get started. Today we're going to be working on a couple of easy Valentine crafts using mostly Dollar Tree supplies. So let's get started with project number 1. So I have some of these kind of shadow box shaped houses still in my supply, and I'm going to use 2 of them because one of them I'm going to use this tool and just kind of press off that back side. I'm going to glue this to my side and close it up. Now, if you're going to use one of these shadow box houses, you don't have to close it up. Or if you don't have 2 of them, you can use a piece of cardboard and cut it to fit the back to glue it. Or if you just have those solid wood pieces that look like the house shapes, you could totally use that. I'm also going to use a painter's stick, but you could use these rulers from Dollar Tree. They have a nice flat back side. And I'm just going to cut 2 pieces at a slant to make like a little roof shape. Or if you don't want to mess with any of that and you were lucky enough to pick up one of these that are out right now for Valentine and you just kind of want to redo the bottom part, this is for you because your roof and everything is already done. So I've got some scrapbook paper here. Now this is double-sided. I'm going to be using the other side, which is kind of like a pink check. And I am just cutting 1 piece for the front and back. I'm going to leave the sides. I'm not going to cover those in paper. And I'm cutting both of these down, about a 1/4 inch shorter all the way around so that on the front and back side, a little perimeter of the house shows, as you can see here. And so here I am just using my miter box and saw. Both of these were about 4 inches long, I think, and I cut them so that they will fit nice and secure at the top. So we'll come to that in a little bit. I'm using Beacon Fabri-Tac glue today, as you can see here, and I'm going to go ahead and just glue on my back side. And of course, you can leave that open. Using the Waverly Antique Wax mixed with water. And I'm just going to use a paintbrush and I'm going to go ahead and just paint my little rooftop pieces here. I usually like to paint it on and then just kind of wipe off the excess. A nice, inexpensive idea for stain. And then I've got a little wood heart here. You can pick up those packages of wood hearts from Dollar Tree. That's what this is from, and I'm staining it as well. And I'm going to use Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color Caviar. Now I'm just going to fully paint the sides here since I'm not going to cover them with paper, because those of you might have seen my projects like this in the past. A lot of times I will cover around the sides in paper as well, but I'm not going to do that this time. And then around the front and back, I'm just going to paint in about 1 inch in because, again, that will be covered with our cute check paper. Now I have this woodward. They come in a pack of different woodwards. You can get them at Hobby Lobby in the unfinished wood section. They have all sorts of like 6 or 7 different words. And then this is Sweet as Honey. It's beautiful board laser cut chipboard you can get from ReneeBouquets.com. Now this would be a really cute quote. And I will have that link down in the description box for you. Or if you want to use like stickers from Dollar Tree and make the quote that I'm going to use today, I'm just going to use the word sweet from that Sweet as Honey set. And I'm going to go ahead and paint both of these with that Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color Caviar. And of course you could use pins if you want to, regular paint marker pens or anything like that to put your quote on as well. I'm taking my sanding block here and I'm just distressing all around the edges to give this more of a kind of rustic farmhouse feel. And then I like to take, those of you who might be new to my channel, once I started sewing my paper, I can't not sew my paper, so I love to take it to my sewing machine. My sewing machine likes a size 10 or 11 needle, depending on the manufacturer. It likes all polyester thread. My stitch length is on 4 and my tension's set on 4, and I just sew on it like I'm sewing on regular fabric. Really easy. Here's what it looks like. I'm using a contrast of the black thread so that it looks nice with how we painted our little house in black. And then I like to take the open end of my scissor blades here and I just scrape along the edges just to kind of roughen it up and give us that little bit of a rustic texture. So our paper just has that rustic look against our wood base. And I use my Cricut Explorer 3 machine. Again, you could use these in black, of course, metallic markers, Sharpie markers, paint pens if you have really beautiful handwriting. And I'm going to just, I did my quote here, and I'll make sure I have the font listed in the description box for you. It's free from dafont.com. And I'm just putting part of my quote on here, and I'll finish the rest of my quote with that wood word and that Rene Bouquet Beautiful Board Laser Cut Chipboard word. But again, if you wanted to buy that, you know, if you bought that whole set, Sweet as Honey from Rene Bouquets, that could be your quote on here and look really cute for Valentine's. Of course, I tried to make this Valentine, but also make it so that it could set out any day of the year. So I've got this part of my quote on, so I'm going to go ahead and glue my papers front and back onto my little house here, so to speak, because it is a house, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and put in my little rooftop here, and I'm going to kind of get it into position where I want it, and I'm going to mark it on the front here so I know, you know, where I had that in position. And I'm going to turn each piece over on the back and mark it so I know where to put my glue so that, you know, you don't see the glue from the back side, because obviously I don't need glue on the whole entire back side. Once I got that glue on here, I'm going to put these into position where I mark them, making sure no glue is showing on the perimeter on the back. Yeah, I love my Valentines, but I often like to make them look like everyday decor as well, you know, of course, so, you know, you don't have to use it all year long, or only for one Valentine day of the year. You could use it all year long. Now, my words here, a lot of times when I'm doing like extra wood words and stuff, I like to lay them on here and kind of overlap, you know, the vinyl quotes a little bit so that it just gives it a little bit of fun and interest. And because I kind of had to squeeze it in between the rooftop there. But I think it's fun. So, you know, if you squeeze one word in here like I did the sweet, you might want to make sure that you squeeze the other word in and make it look overlap too, so that by, you know, overlapping both of them, it looks intentional. Okay? Now, once those words are in place, I'm going to go ahead and glue my heart on here. I'll show you how this looks in the final looks at the end of the video. But for now, that makes this project complete. So let's move on to project number 2. So for this project, this is what I'm going to use from Dollar Tree. I was going to use these wood planks, but I'll show you in a minute what I changed to. One of these little tags, it's a little coloring tag set from July 4th last year. One of these envelopes that they have now in stock at Dollar Tree, and one of these glittered hearts. I'm going to actually use it for a pattern. They come in like a set of 5 with various sizes, as you see here. And you could totally use the colors. They usually have pink or red as is, but you know, I'm just going to use it for a pattern. They have these at Hobby Lobby. They come in a set of 5. This is what I'm going to use for my rectangle piece, but you could also use it for that tag. Now, this heart has a spacer on the side, but as you can see, if I want to fit all these elements in, the spacer is not tall enough. So what I'm going to do is use one of these little tools from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to slide it in here, and I'm going to remove the top, and we're going to add a little bit more cardboard here to make that spacer taller so that we could fit those thicker pieces inside the envelope. Okay, so I'm going to use my swing arm cutter here. You could use cereal box for cardboard, actual box, something you got in the mail for cardboard, whatever you need. And I've cut them to size, and I'm going to go ahead and glue these right over the other piece of cardboard that's already there. Again, using my Beacon Fabri-Tac glue. And so this is going to just give us a little bit more spacer in here to make the pocket a little bit bigger. Now, this envelope, I was almost going to use it like it is. They have this color as well, which I think is beautiful, but I wanted to change the back. So before we glue this envelope together, I wanted to use this stripe paper because I wanted to kind of go reds and blacks. But then I realized, you all know me, when I go to use my papers, I like to sew around them. So that would make the front of my envelope flat, although I love this color. But since I'm sewing around the rest of the pieces, I wanted my envelope to look sewn. So I took this typing paper, laid it over the top because I could see the pattern. And I went ahead and traced it and cut out pattern pieces. Now, if this is too much for you, leave the envelope like it is. It is so cute like it is, but y'all know I like to just take it up that notch. So I've got my pattern pieces cut out. I traced it onto my scrapbook paper here, and then I will cut those out and change the color. So this is a way to just kind of, you know, make it look even cuter. So on the backs of all my pieces today, I'm using black cardstock, and that's what I will use to cover the back of all my pieces. And in the front, I've picked different scrapbook papers to go together, but I like my backside to look finished. Of course, you could just paint the backside. You don't have to cover it with paper. So I use that thinner wood from Hobby Lobby, cut it down. It's about 3 by 5 inches tall. So this is what all my pieces will look like. Again, you could use the heart as is if you're kind of using red and black, but I traced it and, cut it out with some cardboard. These are my pieces, pattern papers I'll be using. Going to use Dixie Belle chalk paint again in the color Caviar, and I'm just going to go around all my pieces here since we're basically covering it all up. We just kind of need to paint around the edges. But if using all the different pattern pieces of paper and stuff is just not up your alley, just paint everything in the different colors. You could paint your wood pieces in blacks and reds and whites or creams or whatever and do it that way as well. You don't have to use a lot of scrapbook paper if that's not your style. And then I'm coming in again. I like to distress along the edges, so I'm just kind of distressing my wood pieces here with my sanding block. I've got my papers here all sewn and ready to go, just kind of like we did on the last project. So I'm going to again come in with the open end of my scissor blades and distress all my pieces up, giving that little bit more of a rustic texture. Again, you can skip this part if it's not your style. I've got my back side already glued on to my envelope here, and I'm going to go ahead and come in with the front piece. So this started my original changing all the colors. We're going to go ahead and glue that down first, get it into position. And it doesn't matter that it's a little bit short, doesn't come all the way down, because it's going to cover it up with this top piece that we're now going to go ahead and glue. If you don't have cardboard, you could use these popsicle sticks too, or these craft sticks, to cut them down to make spacers, to make that inside of your envelope just a little bit taller. So that's an idea for you. And then I'm going to go ahead and come in here with my scrapbook paper and glue that down. Again, it was really hard to almost cover it up because I love that polka dot against that stripe, but do how you want your design. Again, I just wanted that sewing look here, as you see, to match the sewing look everywhere else. So covering the back of my heart. And we're going to go ahead and cover the front of the heart. That makes this heart done. I'm not going to add anything to it because it's just going to peek out the back side. Covering the back of our little tag here. And then, of course, covering the front. And then covering the back of our larger tag. And then covering the front. I would say this is probably about a 5 by 7 tag here. Even though this red stripe is going to come against the red of the envelope, the pattern is different, so it works. And then I'm coming in again with some vinyl here to make my quotes. I'll have those fonts listed in the description box for you. Again, free from defont.com. And I wanted to use quotes, so if I wanted this to set out all year long, I could. So, the larger tag says "You feel like home to me," and then the smaller tag says "I love us." Again, you could use paint markers or anything to get that on here, or different stickers, letter stickers, anything like that to get your quote on. And I'm just going to go ahead and arrange these with the heart in behind, kind of going larger to smaller in elements. And then I've got this black wired ribbon I got at Walmart at Christmas. And then these wood hearts, that you find in Dollar Tree right now for Valentine. I went ahead and painted around the edges, got the back side on. I decided to add this heart kind of last minute and going to go ahead and glue the front on here and use my Crop-A-Dile, We Are Memory Keepers Crop-A-Dile tool here to punch a little hole. And then I'm going to bring my ribbon all the way around here. Really easy, and just kind of tie a nice bow here. I like that it's wired because I can really kind of plump up those loops on the front of this bow, so it just gives it that great texture. Plump them up as fat as I want. That wired ribbon will help hold it in place, kind of give a little bit of an angle cut to my ribbon here at the tail ends. I'm going to just pick a little safety pin. These safety pins are also from Dollar Tree. You get various sizes. You could use these wood stickers from Dollar Tree as well. I think that little wood heart would look really cute here. And I'm just going to put a little safety pin through the hole I punched. And then I'm going to put that through to the front of the ribbon. And that makes this project complete. So I hope you enjoyed the projects I came up with today. Leave me a comment down below and let me know which project was your favorite and that you would love to make right now. Please give this video a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber and you like what you saw here today, before you click off, make sure you hit that red subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos from me. Before I go, I'm going to leave you with one final thought. Don't entertain thoughts of, I'm not good enough for God, or God won't love me or accept me because of what I've done. That's the devil trying to pull you away from the one that loves you and loves your heart. His crimson blood flowed from that cross for you. He will never turn you away when you lay your heart at his feet. God wants us to focus less on feeling inadequate or feeling unworthy and focus more on the fact that he is sitting with us, dining with us at our table. Don't give the devil a seat at the table. God's one and only presence at that table is all you need, and it's better than anything else that's surrounding you. I want you to do something. Close your eyes, breathe in, and breathe out. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. As you breathe out, let those insecurities go. Release them and breathe in the love and acceptance of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. He's with you. Grab his hand. Feel his love. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.